Vaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottama Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayed Nashtaprayesha Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 8. The sons of Sagara meet Lord Kapil Deva. Text 25. Tvanmaya Rachite Loke Tvanmaya Rachite Loke Vastu Buddhya Grihadishu Vastu Buddhya Grihadishu Brahmanti Kama Lobha Irshya Brahmanti Kama Lobhershya Moha Vibhranta Chetasaha Moha Vibhranta Chetasaha Tvanmaya Rachite Loke Vastu Buddhya Grihadishu Brahmanti Kama Lobhershya Moha Vibhranta Chetasaha. Tvanmaya Rachite Loke Vastu Buddhya Grihadishu Brahmanti Kama Lobhershya Moha Vibhranta Chetasaha. Tvanmaya Rachite Loke Vastu Buddhya Grihadishu Brahmanti Kama Lobhershya Moha Vibhranta Chetasaha. Tvanmaya Rachite Loke Vastu Buddhya Grihadishu Brahmanti Kama Lobhershya Moha Vibhranta Chetasaha. Tvatmaya. Through your material energy, Rachite, which is manufactured, Loke, in this world, Vastu Buddhya, accepting as factual, Griha Adishu, in hearth and home, etc. Brahmanti, wander, Kama, by lusty desires, Lobha, by greed, Irshya, by envy, Moha, and by illusion. Vibhranta is bewildered, Chetasaha, the course of whose hearts. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O my Lord, those whose hearts are bewildered by the influence of lust, greed, envy, and illusion are interested only in false hearth and home in this world created by your Maya. Attached to home, wife, and children, they wander in this material world perpetually. Please repeat this translation. O my Lord, those whose hearts are bewildered by the influence of lust, greed, envy, and illusion are interested only in false hearth and home in this world created by your Maya, attached to home, wife, and children, they wander in this material world perpetually. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta Swami translation to verse number 25, chapter 8, canto 9, in the subject matter of the sons of Sagara meet Lord Kapil Dev. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srimad Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare. This is a prayer offered by Amshuman to Lord Kapila. And in this particular prayer, he is praying on behalf of those people who are perpetually wandering in this material world. They do not know how to get out. Neither they have any understanding of spiritual world. So he is addressing the Lord, O my Lord, those whose hearts are bewildered, vibhranta chetasaha, those whose hearts are bewildered by the influence of lust, kama, greed, lobha, envy, irshya, and illusion, moha. Kama, lobha, irshya, moha. 4 things are mentioned here. Are interested, such people are interested only in the false hearth and home. False hearth and home. Griha adishu. In this world, created by your Maya, Twan Maya Rachite Loke. Loke means in this world. The world we are living in now. In this world, created by Twan Maya Rachite, by your material nature. Attached to home. They are attached to home, wife and children. Now, home, wife and children is not directly given in the verse, but it is said Vastu buddhya grihadishu. Griha, grihastha, for a householder. There should be something called a griha. That griha is home, wife, and children. Consists of all these different items. Griha adishu. Adishu means connected with the home. There is the family members, wife and children, and sometimes other relatives also. And the different possessions, the different arrangements, different kinds of social obligations, etc., etc. Grihadishu vastu buddhya. And they accept this home, family members, as real in the sense as if it's going to be there forever. It's going to be there forever. So, because of this conception and this kind of attachment to home, wife, and children, they wander in this material world. Brahmanti, perpetually they wander in this material world. That means the kind of lifestyle people are leading in general in this material world. Those who are completely bewildered by the influence of the illusory energy, for them, actually, there is no hope of coming out of this trap. There is no hope at all. They keep on taking birth again and again and again in this material world. They wander. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calls this as Brahmanda Brahmana. Brahmanda Brahmana means not only wandering in this earth planet, but even sometimes elevating themselves to heavenly planets, or even higher, up to Brahmaloka. And sometimes they do degrade themselves, go to the lower planets, or sometimes they even go to hell for having committed sinful activities, knowingly or sometimes unknowingly. So they are wandering, Brahmanda Brahmana. And this wandering, there is no end to it. Though by the arrangement of the Supreme Lord, He puts a break. People continuously are engaged in so many material activities and becoming more and more entangled. But the Supreme Lord, He puts a break on all these activities. One break He puts when there is the end of the life in this body. Whatever body we have got, even though actually this body is not the self, we accept this body as the self and bodily connections as mine, and we make all arrangements for a permanent living centered around the body and the bodily connections. But death comes and everything is taken away. Mrityu sarva haraschaham. So, as death, the Supreme Lord takes away everything, and the soul is, the person is carried to another body. Tatha dehantara praptihi. So they are forced to give up everything and begin another life in another body. And again, in that body also, they accept that body as the self and again try to make a permanent living in that body, whatever be the type of body. To the extent that even in hellish conditions, they are not giving up sense gratification. You may wonder, where is sense gratification in hell? Hellish conditions, there is so much of punishment. But when they get some relief between the punishments, then that they consider as very nice. This is the mentality of sense gratification. In so many prayers offered by great devotees, they say that this sense gratification is so abominable that it is available everywhere in this material creation in all forms of life. All forms of life. Just like Srila Prabhupada often gives the example. A pig living in a filthy condition, eating stool, rubbish, and rolling in dirt, in filth, and thinks he is very happy. And if they are sent to hell for punishment, because in the human form of life, one has to be responsible, because one is given developed intelligence. So there should be that sense of what is correct and what is not correct, what is proper and improper. But either because people are too much bewildered by lust, greed, envy, illusion, they are their intelligence is lost. Kamaisthaisthir hritagyan. Bhagavad Gita is described. Kama, influence of lust, is so very powerful. Hritagyana, their intelligence is lost. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Hritagyana means Nashta buddhayaha. Intelligence is lost. So human intelligence is such a nice facility for being able to discriminate between what is sinful and what is pious, what is for my ultimate benefit and what is not meant for my ultimate good. That discrimination is already there when we get this human form of life. But due to very strong desire for material enjoyment under all circumstances, any circumstances, one's intelligence is lost. The strong desire for material enjoyment is exactly what is called as lust, kama. So intelligence is lost, then as Krishna says in second chapter, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sunjayate Kama Kamat Krodho Jayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha Sammohat Smriti Vibramaha Smriti Bhramshat Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranashyati. One is completely ruined, beginning with this contemplation on sense objects. Dhyayato Vishayan Punsa. Vishaya. And this material world is described as Vishaya Sagara. It is an ocean of sense objects. So in an ocean of sense objects, there are plenty. Everywhere there are sense objects. And one makes plans because of the strong desire, determined to enjoy materially. That's the general condition of the living beings, including those in heavenly planets, including those who are very, very pious people. No exception, nobody is exception. They have got culture, they have got pious credits, they have so much of knowledge, they have so much of good association, they have good understanding of mannerisms and culture, everything. What is lacking in heavenly planets, you tell me, for the residents of heaven? And the Supreme Lord, out of His compassion for those who are so unfortunate that in spite of having all these nice facilities, they still are determined to enjoy. So for their benefit, the Lord sends His devotee like Narada. Narada is Devarshi. The rishis, generally, they are normally situated in a planet which is exclusively meant for saintly persons and sages. Just like Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. This is the general place of residence of these rishis, who are committed to self-realization, whose only business is self-realization. They have nothing to do with all these arrangements for material enjoyment. For them, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, 4 planetary systems are reserved for them. That is beyond the jurisdiction of all the controllers. They are all directly governed by Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, the 3 top controllers of the entire material universe. Directly they are governing Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. So even if somebody conquers the 3 worlds, the upper, middle and lower planetary systems, those planetary systems are excluded. Hiranyakashipu, he was ruling from Indra's kingdom, Swargaloka, but he cannot rule over Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. In fact, they don't even have entrance. They don't even if they know, they may not be able to enter, or most of the time they don't even know such planets exist. So, rishis generally live in those planetary systems. But by the Lord's arrangement, Narada Rishi, he generally lives in Devaloka, in the heavenly planets. And he is also designated Rishi among the Devatas, Deva Rishi. Deva Rishi. So, in spite of Narad Muni identified as the sage amongst the Devatas, still the Devatas, they have respect for Narad Muni. But they never take advantage of his preaching Krishna consciousness. Narad Muni's only business is to preach Krishna consciousness, nothing else. But they don't take advantage of that. Most of them are busy with their pious activities, with their... that's what is told here. Attached to home, wife, children. This is what they are busy with. Even in heavenly planets. So what is their position? They wander in the material world perpetually. They are always thinking, I may lose my position. And therefore, they are constantly engaged in pious activities to earn punya and retain their position in the heavenly planets. It's like even in this earthly planet, there are people who earn some big amount of money. So their standard of living in this earth planet sometimes is according to the money they have. They try to secure different comforts. So what happens? Supposing somebody starts off in a humble way with a small job, 20,000 rupees a month, and then somehow he is able to rise up the ladder, especially the corporate ladder, and then his salary increases, comes to 1 lakh a month. Then his level of comforts also correspondingly, he goes on changing. And then he becomes adjusted to living a very, very, I can't say luxurious life, but something which demands that he has to spend all his money for his living. And modern day situation is such that not only they spend what money they are getting, they become indebted. They take loans and they have so many EMIs to pay. And then by some bad fortune, bad luck, they lose the job. Then they have to... I've actually seen this. In America, when I first went to America, so I was, like most Indians are, impressed with the standard of living. So I was also impressed. And then I was talking to people who are settled down there. Because I was also having an idea, let me settle down here. Very nice place. Comforts are all easily available. Very nicely arranged, everything nicely. So I was talking to one gentleman, and once he confided in me that actually I lost my job and now I am not getting another job commensurate with my position. So now I'm working in some small job. I'm getting 1/10 the salary I was getting earlier. And then he was explaining to me how so many commitments are there because everything is taken on installment scheme. So then so much difficulty in paying those installments of EMIs. And then he's not getting a better job. So what is his position? Now this is not just in the earth planet. In the heavenly planets, they have to keep performing pious activities by which they keep earning punya. There's a different currency there that works. Here they work hard for earning money. There they work hard for earning punya. If the punya level comes down, then they have to come back to the earth. Kshine punye martyalokam vishanti. This is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. So, even if they are very careful not to commit any sinful activity, generally they are well informed what is pious activity and what is sinful activity. Still, they sometimes are carried away. There are enough examples in the Bhagavatam of Indra, the king of the heavenly planets. He is carried away. Once he disrespected or did not show proper respect to his spiritual master Brihaspati. Then Brihaspati thought that this Indra is very proud. He doesn't care for me. So I will just leave and go away. So he left Indra's kingdom and went away. And then Indra suddenly realized Brihaspati is not available. And then he started searching. And he's searching and searching and searching, not able to find Brihaspati at all. Nobody knows where he has gone. Then he realized it is only because I didn't show him proper respect. Then he went to Lord Brahma. Brahma scolded him, foolish fellow. What is this you have done? You have not shown proper respect to such a great personality. So anyway, Brahma took compassion upon this Indra. He said, you appoint Vishwarupa as your priest, as your advisor. And then Vishwarupa was appointed, and this Indra, foolish fellow, again, he became angry against Vishwarupa. So much angry he became, he cut off one of his heads. So, can you imagine Indra doing this to a Brahmana? Brahmahatya. Brahmahatya is the worst kind of sin. Worst kind of sin. So, we cannot be too sure in this material world. If we are not engaged in Krishna consciousness, in activities for self-realization, Even if we are very careful to only perform pious activities, there's no guarantee that we will avoid sin. There's no guarantee. Throughout the Bhagavatam, you can see instances where the most pious people, they accidentally, somehow, they do commit sinful activities. So, the illusory energy is very, very powerful. And not only those who are careful to avoid sin, they make mistakes. Even those on the path of self-realization, they also can make mistakes. They can offend great personalities unknowingly, accidentally. So, material world actually is a very dangerous place. Bhagavatam declares that. Padam padam yat vipadam. Brahma, in his prayers to Krishna, after the Brahma Vimohana Leela, he says, Samashrita ye pada pallava plavam mahat padam punya yasho murare. My dear Lord, Krishna, Murari, your lotus feet are the shelter for everyone in this material existence. Your lotus feet is the only shelter actually. But then there are foolish people who don't take shelter of your lotus feet. Instead, they have made so many arrangements. Dehapatya kalatradishu atmasainyeshu. Wife, home, children, relatives, and all their influence, their learning, material knowledge, their position in society, everything, they have great faith in all these. And consequently, they neglect to take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. And as a result of that, they simply are wandering in the material world perpetually. For them, there is no hope of deliverance from material existence. Whereas those who really take shelter of your lotus feet, Mahatpadam Punya Yasho Murare Bhavambudir Vatsapadam. For them, this Bhavambudhi, this ocean of material existence, gets shrunk as soon as they even approach your lotus feet. The whole ocean of material existence shrinks into a small puddle of water contained in the hoof prints of a calf. Vatsapadam. And then what do? When it shrinks, they simply step across and go over to Parampadam. They very easily attain your personal abode, the supreme abode, without any difficulty. Very, very easily they cross over. And such people who have taken shelter of your lotus feet, Padam padam yat vipadam na tesham. They are never interested in staying in this material world. Why? Because the characteristic they understand of this material world is every step there is danger. There is no safety in this material world. No place in this material world is safe place. Krishna declares that in the Bhagavad Gita. This material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana. Those who are devotees, those who have taken shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, fixed in Krishna's lotus feet, for them, this material world, they understand, is not a suitable place of residence. It's not a safe place. It is simply filled with miseries. And everything here is temporary. So they never, Mahatmanastum, no, that Mamupetya Punarjanma Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam Napnuvanti Mahatmanaha. Why? Samsiddhim Paramam Gataha. Because they have achieved Samsiddhim, the highest perfection. In material world, there are different grades of perfection. But those who are not engaged in devotional service, for them, different grades of perfection are in terms of getting the sovereignty of this earth planet, Sarvabhauma, or becoming a ruler of the lower planetary, Rasadhipatyam, or Nakaprishtham, the kingship of heavenly planets, or if they think of the entire universe, the topmost personality, Parameshtyam, the position of Brahma. All these are different grades of perfection in this material world. For whom? For those who are not taken shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, those who are not engaged in devotional service. For them, Yoga Siddhi. And there are others who think all these positions, they are not safe. But if I have Yoga Siddhi, then I have a very secure position in this material world. And there are others, Jnanis, who think that best is get out of this material existence totally. Even Yoga Siddhi works only in this universe, while we have a proper human form of body. Otherwise, what do you do with Yoga Siddhi? It is useless. So they aim for liberation. They aim for liberation. Apunar va. Whereas the devotees of Krishna, they don't want na Nakaprishtham, na cha Parameshtyam, na Sarvabhaumam, na Rasadhipatyam, na Yoga Siddhim, Apunar va. They are not interested in any of these perfections. They have no faith in any of these. Because padam yat vipadam na tesham. So they simply want the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna's. The dust of Krishna's lotus feet. They simply want to engage in devotional service of Krishna. They simply want to serve Krishna. So they never have faith, they never have hope of being safe in this material existence. So therefore, the prayer here is indirectly, Amshuman is praying that I may not be trapped by the allurements in this material world, which is only false. False in the sense, it is all temporary. And it is simply the effect of illusion. Moha. Maya mohita chetasaha. Always bewildered by the influence of the illusory energy, Maya. And the intelligence becomes completely lost or bewildered. So one cannot even act as a proper human being, having got this human form of life, and having got this human intelligence, developed intelligence, one cannot even utilize this intelligence if his intelligence is bewildered. So therefore, to protect this intelligence, to safeguard our human interest, we require sadhu sangha, association of saintly persons who can cut through the illusion and expose the reality of this material existence. So therefore, a sadhu, a saintly person, is one who actually cuts through the illusion. Sometimes it is painful, especially for householders. When a saintly person visits a householder, the householders, because they are generally surrounded by so many material necessities or problems or shortcomings, so they want the blessing of the sadhu that my material needs may be fulfilled. But the sadhu's real interest in visiting the householders is not to bless them, you remain happily, comfortably in this material world. No. Because sadhu knows the truth. There is no happiness, there is no comfort in this material existence. Only under the influence of illusion somebody may think like that. So the sadhu does favor for such householders who may be in illusion, to pull them out of illusion, to expose the reality of this material existence. He cuts through the illusion. And sometimes the attached householders, griha medis, they think this sadhu is actually a very, very cruel person. They don't think the visit of the sadhu is really auspicious. Or sometimes they mistakenly think, oh, the sadhu is cursing us, not giving us blessings. A sadhu never actually curses anybody. A real sadhu, he never curses anybody. He always gives blessings for the welfare of the people suffering in this world. His only business is to do welfare activity for the suffering souls. So they misunderstand. Sometimes people misunderstand. But somebody who is fortunate to understand that the sadhu is simply meant for welfare of the people. So such a person actually receives a sadhu at home very, very joyfully and seeks the direction of the sadhu in all matters, especially when there is difficulty or danger. Then an intelligent person, a householder, grihastha, he always seeks the direction of the sadhu, how to get out of this danger. Certainly there is danger in this material world. So how to get out of this danger? They don't make their own independent plans. Intelligent persons don't make independent plans to solve material problems or to get out of material danger. They always take the guidance of saintly persons who are genuine saints. So that is how we see Amshuman is praying to Lord Kapila in order to actually get Kapila's blessings for his uncles who foolishly, unknowingly insulted Lord Kapila and ruined themselves by their own misdeeds. So he's trying to get Lord Kapila's blessings. And we'll see how Lord Kapila will bless him. I'll stop it. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.